Hey guys, welcome back. It's Nick again here at J-Tech. Today what I'm going to do is, you see this military Freightliner behind me here? What we're going to do is charge this system. It's not too difficult. I'll walk you through it. So let's get started. Alright, so the machine I'm going to use here is a Cooltech made by Robinair. You can see it's a pretty standard machine. I've already got it plugged in and turned on. So what I'm going to do first here, I got my valves closed. What I'm going to do here is hook up these lines. And as you can see, these lines are red and blue for a reason. Red side being the high side, blue being the low side. And it's impossible to hook these up wrong, and I'll show you why. You see how the fittings are different sizes? They'll only go on the truck one way. Up here on these fittings right here. So they're only going to go on one way. It's pretty easy. I'll go ahead and get those hooked up and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, as you can see, I got the lines hooked up. It's important to remember, when you put these on, just make sure you back these out all the way on each side. And these will clip right on just like a hydraulic fitting, and then go ahead and tighten these down. Because what you want to do is make sure that Schrader valve penetrates the other valve here in the line to make sure you got full flow and there's no restriction. Alright? Next thing I want to show you here. See how that says 2 pounds, 14 ounces of R134A. Most vehicles are going to have that listed somewhere to show you exactly what it takes. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and get started with draining this system or recharging it. So I'm going to go ahead and open my valves. Alright. And now I'm not going to fill the tank. It's asking me if I want to fill the tank. No. This machine's pretty straightforward. You just follow the directions. What we're going to do is recover it. It's going to go ahead and check the pressures. Alright. Now you can see here it's recovering in progress. Now what this is going to do, this machine's going to run and it's going to suck all the refrigerant out of this vehicle. And it'll tell you ounce by ounce how much comes out. Alright, so we're going to wait for that. It usually takes anywhere from, 5-10 minutes, just depending on how much is in the vehicle. So we'll go ahead and let that run. Alright, I got a recover in progress. It's going to take about 5 minutes. Standard. This one doesn't have a lot of refrigerant in it because it's a trainer. This is probably not going to have more than 12-13 ounces, but normally it would have a couple pounds of refrigerant in it. Just be sure to check the labels on the vehicle that you're doing to make sure whatever amount comes out, once you put it back in, that you can top it off, to make sure it's at the proper levels. While this is recovering the system, this machine here, it's important that as it's running, okay, no one leans on it, you don't set anything on it, because the way this machine works is there's a scale in there. What that scale does is measures the amount that comes out of the system, right? That's how it works on a scale. It's not digitally counting down or anything. It's literally measuring what's coming out and what's going back in. So if you lean on it and you change the amount that's coming out or going in, it could throw your measurements off and you could put the wrong amount in. All right, so just know that it needs to be on a level surface. Don't be leaning on it or have any type of weight on it, and try not to bang it into anything as you're bringing out the truck to use it. Okay, so let's check on our machine here. Okay, so the recovery finished. You're gonna get a thing that'll pop up here to tell you to take the next step. I stopped that one early just because, there was no reason to drain all of it. So the next procedure is going to be to do a vacuum here. Let's say no, we don't need to do that. We're going to do a vacuum. It's going to go ahead and check the pressures. I don't think we need to run that vacuum for 10 minutes. You can adjust the time specifically how you want it. We'll run it for a minute. And then start. So what this is going to do is it's going to pull all the moisture out of the system. It's going to create a negative pressure in the system. And you can tell that by looking at the gauges here. This one's already going negative. And what we'll do is once this vacuum is created, now normally you'd run it, you know, for a while, 10 minutes or so. And once it goes off, you're going to want to let it sit in that vacuum state and monitor these gauges for a minimum of 10 minutes to make sure you don't lose any pressure, to make sure you don't have a leak somewhere before you recharge the system. Okay, my vacuum is complete. Now what we would do, you would want to wait here, like I said, and monitor these gauges and ensure they maintain their negative pressure here. So we're going to go ahead and assume that these worked. All right. We'll say that these held the pressure. If not, obviously what you would want to do is, you know, start looking for a leak or find out where the leak is coming from. That's a whole different video that I'll be making later, but right now we're going to say that it's holding pressure, and we're going to move on to recharging the system. Now at this point is where you would want to add, if you wanted to put dye in the oil, you could add dye in there, right, for the system in order to, you know, check for leaks later on. So now the vacuum completes, we're going to recharge it, because now that we have drained the system, checked the seals with a vacuum, and now we're going to recharge the system. Here you can manually enter the amount you want to go in. I'm going to just put whatever came out back into it, but you can see here you can change the amount. Alright, it gives you literally instruction on what to do. Connect source tank to low service hose. Open low service panel valve, start to begin. Tank fill in progress. This really is a simple process, guys. I mean, even if you've never done this before, you literally just follow the head-up display. It'll tell you exactly what needs to be done. You know, it's kind of hard to screw it up. There we go. All right, so we'll get this sucker charged and see what happens. All right, our charge is in progress. Says do not disturb. I mean, stay off of it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Because now is a crucial point of the measurement. So I'm just putting probably the 6 ounces back in that came out real quick. But you get the gist of how much needs to come out and how much needs to go in. All in all, this is probably a 30-minute or more process if you had a full tank. And there you go. Charge, press start to equalize the hoses. And that's it. Now it's going to tell you to disconnect the hoses, open the panel valves, and start AC max, start to continue. So it's telling you to test the AC in the truck, but it's also telling you to pull the hoses off the truck to clear them out. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I've disconnected my high side hose. You can see it here because it's red, and we know that, right? Boys and girls, we talked about that. And equalizing hoses. Now you remove the low side hose and the high side hose, start to continue. All right, now I guess he wants me to take this one off too. I guess you can watch me do this one. Remember, like I said, unscrew that. Easy enough, right? Can't screw this up, pretty easy. Let's clear our hoses. This is a pretty simple process as well. It's just clearing the hoses out, and you can tell, but watch your gauges, they'll go down. And it's important to have these things zeroed out before you put the machine away. And that's pretty much it for now. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. You know, it's a pretty simple process. Follow the directions on the screen of the machine. You know, check to make sure the amount that's going into the truck is right. Most trucks should have labels on them that tell you the exact amount, so many pounds and ounces. And that's really it, you know. Don't touch the machine when it's charging, and the vacuum and all that. You know, it's pretty simple. Anybody can do it. So appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks.